Alright, so today we're going to review what we did yesterday and do a problem using rational numbers. So to start, we have a video that's going to go ahead and review those rational numbers, the definitions, and we'll talk about it. Oh no. Here we go. I don't think that's the right video, because my video was like 5 minutes. Come on.
Try copy and paste it and putting it in.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know, maybe it's the browser.
can someone summarize that video for me?
I probably can.
Yeah.
It kind of talks about a lot about like rational numbers and reviewing like what we talked about yesterday, and it kind of told us about all the underlying properties that go along with rational numbers.
Right. Anything you want to add?
I think that's pretty good. It also gives, I think what, the one thing I really liked about it that helped me understand it a little bit more was how it used long division to give us an idea, like, you know, as long as there is a remainder of 0 when you divide p by q,
Right.
then it can be a rational number.
Right. Or if it's a repeating, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be terminated.
As long as you're repeating, yeah.
Yeah. I also really like that Venn diagram.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
gives
say
you a really good visual of the
Mhm.
numbers. So just because this one's kind of tricky, is 0 a rational number, yes or no? Yeah, because it can be written over 1, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I always forget that one. All right. So we're gonna start a problem that uses rational numbers. Do you guys have your calculators?
Yep.
Awesome. So we're gonna look at two pizzerias and their profits. So just to start, here's some vocabulary that you're gonna see. Are there any questions about this vocabulary?
I don't think so.
Okay, can someone define net gain for me? Or how you calculate it maybe?
Isn't that just like basically like what your profit almost is, like
Yeah.
how much money you're making?
Right, and so net loss would just be the opposite.
Yeah, how much you're
Right.
losing.
So what's break even?
So if the amount you spend and the amount you take in bring you to a point where you have about, well, this
The
is
same
a
money
money.
you started
This is a
with.
problem involving money. Then you have $0 basically.
Right, awesome.
As a result.
Okay, and we just talked about rational numbers. So just here's the information about both pizzerias. Take a second to just kind of look it over. Get a couple ideas in your head because there are some differences. And then we'll talk about it. Alright, so what are we noticing? What's different between the two?
I know it's like with the employees, like
Yeah.
the Corocarians, I don't know how you say that.
You could say A and B
Okay,
too.
whatever. Number one, they like pay them a set amount,
Right.
so that employees always know how much they're gonna make, but on Brenners, they don't.
Yeah.
They just have to pay depending on how much they earn.
Mhm.
With the second part as well, that's for all the employees combined. Is that it per month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So I think definitely.
So how does that,
Yeah.
especially because you mentioned they know how much they're gonna make, and on the other one it kind of depends on other factors, right?
Yeah.
So how do you think that's gonna affect the outcome? Because remember we kind of talked about net gain, net loss.
Yeah.
Well.
I feel like that's gonna like affect how much they like make or lose, whereas that one they're going to like no matter what they could lose money because they already have that much set aside, but that one they know like they're gonna make it because they're not gonna spend all their money on employees maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And also just looking at their amount earned each week,
Mhm.
like they're clearly spending an awful lot of money. The one on the left, Kokorins. Yeah. let's do that.
You can say 1,
We'll
2.
call them C's Pizza.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect scene.
So at that one, when you look at the amount earned, and then you took into account the amount spent
Mhm.
and then the amount per week, that's a significant dent in their profit.
Right.
And that could really, I don't even know if you took into account the $7.59 per week, they might not even be making anything at all. And then on the other side, as long as you have that 7/8,
Right.
that number is directly a result of, like, whatever amount that you're paying those employees is a direct result of how much
How much
you've
money?
earned. So it's probably a lot less likely that they're gonna go like they're gonna, lose money.
Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome, thanks for your guys' input.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and move into the problem. So I'm gonna give you guys each a copy of that information so that you have it right by you. So I'm gonna give you guys some individual think time first. So if you wanna think about both problems, that's awesome. If you only have time to get through A, that's fine. But just read it and think about how you would solve it. If you've got one method, think of another. And maybe once you're feeling good and ready to start discussing, give me a thumbs up so I know. There's quite a few questions in this part, so make sure you're keeping your information organized.
Are we making the assumption that there's 4 weeks in a month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Round.
Is this all the employees together or?
Yeah.
Okay,
I really like the table that you've got going here.
thank you.
That's a good organization tool.
Wow, that's really strong. And if you guys would like to start discussing, you're perfectly welcome to. I know figuring out burners can be a little more tricky. So what is that?
That number is the money they have left after spending their supply money.
Ah, okay, I see.
And the this is, I guess I should just pull that one, 'cause that's the number that they have left. But this was the amount they have to work with for the
Okay.
employees.
Yeah.
So I'll make that
I see
employee
what you're
money.
saying.
Should have made a table like Josh's, this is better. Unless I did something wrong, why is yours positive?
Which one?
Oh, you're not there yet, are you?
On B? This is my B right here.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, B right
Yeah, that's more part B.
Oh, I see him
Yeah.
there. So I was just kind of
I do the
Oh,
same
I
thing.
see.
Wasn't sure what I did wrong. What did I do
No,
wrong?
you're good.
Made me doubt myself.
So, are you both done with part A?
Yeah.
I think
Or
so.
you're almost done, right, with
Is
that
that
zoning?
something? Alright, yeah, you're good. We can talk.
Okay,
Alright, cool.
so,
Let's chat.
part A, what did we get for how much Corcoran's made, how much they paid their employees each week?
So,
I don't think I did mine right, but you go.
so paying their employees each week, I just divided the total amount by 4, since we're assuming there's 4
Yeah.
weeks, and it said basically $575.13 each.
Okay, awesome. Do you wanna do that calculation, check his work?
Yeah, so you did, what you total the amount earned?
Yeah, well,
Well,
total
now
amount
you just-
spent paying employees,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then divide that by 4.
'Cause it says
Oh,
that
I
amount.
see what, alright, you didn't count for all the other money, I see. I got it now. Misinterpreted the question. Yep, that makes sense.
Right, so what is the exact answer that you got when you did that calculation?
When I did the calculation,
Mhm.
so I had 575.125.
And I noticed that you rounded it up,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Is that what you would have done? Rounded it up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's a 5 in the.
right. So how does that affect the money though? Because if we're rounding up, right,
Yeah.
that's gonna give some extra change
Yeah.
at the end that they technically didn't budget for. So is there another way that we could write that that's more precise?
As a fraction,
Yeah,
maybe.
do we know a fraction off the top of our heads?
Let me think about it.
Where's my fraction and decimal? I think do alpha and y. No?
It's like on my calculator, it's on the side at the moment, I can't find it.
I'm sure.
It's here, I use it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how to do it on yours?
I don't think I do it now.
Okay.
So, we're trying to turn this into a fraction?
Yeah, because that'd be more precise, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
okay.
terminating, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm lost, I usually literally use this all the time.
this works.
Or I think we
Got
just
two.
do.
This only works on occasion when it wants to work.
Is that the one that only plugs into the
Yep.
box?
Oh, you have to press math and then fraction.
Oh, okay, there we go.
1/8.
1/8, there we go.
Yep, there it
Awesome.
is.
I like the way you were thinking there.
Oh, yeah, using my
Yeah,
resources.
just simplify it.
Also, I don't want to double check that, so. Okay, yeah.
Bingo.
Awesome, yeah. So, obviously we're dealing with money in this problem, right? So is $575.1/8 practical?
Not
No.
really, that's not, I'd probably like not what I would typically pay an employee.
Right, right. So, if this were you guys, because either way it's perfectly fine, would you guys round down or round up in this case?
I would probably round down
Okay.
to make it like a normal-ish number.
Right.
I would round up because I know I have a retail job, and typically when dealing with amounts that have cents that are in the thousands,
Mhm.
they want you to round up.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
they want
Interesting
they,
take.
they want you to do that.
Yes, I don't know any experience
Well,
with
you're
that.
in the 7th grade, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
have a retail job, but I like that input. That's a good real
Well, maybe
world
your mom or
application.
dad works in
Yeah.
it too.
That too.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
in
a
reality,
good-
I did actually have a retail job in high school, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
it's
All right. So have we gotten all the way through part B? Finding the net loss and net gain.
I was almost done.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys want to pick up where you left off? You guys can work together if you want.
Ew, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Alright,
We'll figure out who's got a net loss or a net
so
gain.
you're on, you did Karakoram.
Yeah, well, I'm almost done.
Okay, why did you times 4 by $30,000?
So the $30,000,
The 30,
that was the total amount.
the 30,000,
Wait a minute.
38, that's how much they spent on supplies.
Yeah, so that,
So you don't need to times that by 4.
it's per week though. We're trying to find the total amount by the
Yeah.
end of the month. That's why I multiplied by 4.
Yeah, but that's $759 per week, so
Yeah.
I times that by 4 to get 33,000.
Oh my gosh, you're
I
right.
feel like that's, high. Yeah, so you shouldn't have to times it, you already times it by 4.
Yeah. Maybe that's a little bit better. So we got that minus,
Yeah, that's what I did.
that makes more sense. Thank you for that. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Gosh. What would go first if you have, it would be a negative sign and then dollar sign? Yeah, that makes, what am I saying? That makes more sense, way more sense.
I honestly had the same thought when I was doing it. I was like, I don't know which way this looks correct.
Okay, we got Brenner's, which is 840.65 times 4.
Have you done Brenner's?
Yes, so I times it by 7 weeks.
Multiply by, you did 7/8?
So when you did the 7/8, what did that find?
So 2,909.64.
And so what does that number represent?
How much money they have after paying him? Well, how much they spent on employees.
Right.
Right, yes.
So
Then I need to subtract those, which is what I just did, to get 415.66.
awesome.
So what Josh should get.
Almost done. 17.
I think you have like 5 more copies. Yes, I had them circled, sorry.
Almost done. 07. 23.
Yep, that's what I had to do.
Did you get $383.02?
No.
Okay, I must have messed something up there.
I did 840.65 times 4.
Yep.
And I got 3,362.6.
Yep.
And then I subtracted 6,687.9,
Yep.
3,362.6 to get 3,325.3. 3/10, I should be precise. And then I multiplied that by 7/8.
Oh, you multiplied that number by 7/8.
I multiplied the number I had left after they spent on supplies. Because it says like once supplies are paid for, then they pay 7/8 of the amount earned.
Right, I think we've got
I think
some up here.
oh, okay.
What is up here?
Got it.
So, how did you find that number? I
This
think I
one?
got that the first time I did it, yeah.
Okay,
So where did you get that number?
it's for a month, so I added up the amount of selling pizza, and then I that for the whole month, I added all 4 of those together,
Okay.
and I multiplied it by 7/8.
Do you know what he's missing?
What'd you do?
For Brenner's for the month,
Yeah.
like for the employees, I added all the
Amount supply.
amount earned,
Yeah.
and then I multiplied that by 7/8.
You forgot to subtract the amount spent on supplies. You said you added up the amount earned,
I'm,
and then you multiplied that by 7/8.
Right. Because in this, it says when supplies are paid for.
So you had to subtract the supplies first.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Just the
Does that
terminology.
make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, okay.
That's how I did it the first
Yeah.
time with this problem. So.
Okay, that makes more sense.
No. So that makes sense then why this part would give you trouble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, thank you guys.
Teamwork, collaboration.
S&P 3. Well, that's no. Oh. Oh, that. Oh. Yeah, actually, you justified.
Just our reasoning.
Alright, so we got those four.
Okay.
Minus the 840 times 0.65.
Times 4.
Yeah, times 4. Okay. And then you take that and multiply that by 7/8.
Yep.
2909.
Yep.
0.64. Okay.
And then you subtract to find the total, their profit. Because the 2,909 and 6,400 are what they spend on employees.
6,400s, I like
Just trying to be precise.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm bad at that. I
Me
always
too.
just say.
Me too.
Okay.
Alright, so do you feel like we're back on track?
I think we are, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to share what you got? Did you get a net loss, net gain?
I got a net loss for C's Pizza and
Okay.
a net gain for B's Pizza.
Awesome. Is that what you came up with?
I was on that track, yeah. I think even when I had the wrong numbers, I was still getting a gain for Brenners.
Right, okay. And so why do you think there's such a difference? Because it's a pretty big difference, right?
Yeah.
So what do we think? Why do we think there's such a big difference?
I think because the amount they were paying their employees was adjusted to fit how much they were earning. Well, in the case of Brenners, versus when you have a set amount you need to pay the employees,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't meet those standards, if you don't meet that amount every time you go into the shop, you're not gonna be able to make money yet. Like you have a fixed goal you have to hit,
Right?
versus, okay, we can adjust the salaries to pay the employees without killing our business.
Right, yeah.
I agree.
You got anything to add?
I definitely think it's the employees was the big factor on that, and then, because even though Brenner spent more on supplies and they earned more, they still accounted for that difference with their amount they paid their employees.
Right, so do you think that Brenner's is gonna have a gain 100% of the time with this pay model?
Yes, because they're paying 7/8, so they're never spending how much they earn on employees.
Awesome.
So they always have 1/8 of their amount to themselves.
Yeah, it's a good one. Alright, so there's 3 more parts, but we aren't gonna get through all of
Yes.
them. So part C we can really just kind of talk about, right?
Yeah, you have 1 minute to.
Yeah, so we'll just get through this part and, so this is where break even comes in.
Mhm.
So who would have needed more money to break even?
C's Pizza.
Right, and so how much would they have needed to break it even?
Or they would have needed $419.09 to break
I like the
even.
precision again. Do you agree with that answer?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So how much would they have needed to turn a profit? Even the tiniest profit?
Like an extra
Cent.
cent.
Yeah?
Big
Yeah.
profit.
Awesome. Alright, so we'll go ahead and stop there.
Okay.
If you guys take a break.
We don't have the swarm, so we're gonna have to
I know,
get
yeah.
All right.